it was just kind of a cool record. But then behind the scenes, the band was at war with their management, and I think to Capitol, we just kind of seemed too big of a headache, and they just punted. The Capitol said, "Nah, you guys, you need to get your act together here," and they refused to put out the record. They also refused to release us from our contract, which meant that we were stuck. Like they owned our contract, but then they
Yeah.
refused to do anything with it.
Good evening. Welcome to Laughing Monkey. Today we're on Butthole Surfer King. How are you?
Howdy, doing great.
People don't
Beautiful
know
day in
in where Texas, right? Is it Texas?
That's right, yeah, in Austin, Texas.
You actually, I was going to start off with actually going to say is you've been very influential in the Texas sound and kind of helping support it for your whole career.
Uh, I was really active in the '90s, running a label called Trance Syndicate, and in some ways, I'm kind of more proud of that as opposed to my work with the Butthole Surfers, only because the Butthole Surfers were just one band. But with
Hmm.
Trance, I got to put out uh, lots and lots of Texas bands, which I admired and appreciated. And it was kind of paying it forward in a way because in the '80s, it was so hard to be from Texas and to get a record deal because there
Right.
weren't any record labels really that had any kind of distribution outside of Texas. So I wanted to and I was tired of seeing friends of mine who were in great bands, but never really put out a record because they had no record label and they would break up. So I was trying to try to put a small stop to that, but he's working with bands that I liked. So yeah, it was fun.
So I want to applaud you on that one. I love the fact you supported the other artists too, because I mean, you guys were outsiders, but still, you weren't outsiders too much that you could help other people. So it definitely was, you know, what I mean, it was kind of it was a very positive thing. Um, and of course, you've worked on a lot of other projects and other music things your whole life, because clearly the band is not always so busy. Which actually leads us to this album, which is actually a kind of like a remix, a redo of when the album came out originally.
Yeah, it's the album we wanted to make, and we were happy with it at the time. But then it was scheduled to be for Capitol Records. It was gonna be our third album on Capitol. We were happy with it because it was kind of it had some pop songs, but also had
Mhm.
some weird stuff on it, and it was just kind of a cool record. But then behind the scenes, the band was at war with their management, and I think to Capitol, we just kind of seemed too big of a headache, and they just punted. The Capitol said, "Nah, you guys, you need to get your act together here," and they refused to put out the record. They also refused to release us from our contract, which meant that we were stuck. Like they owned our contract, but then they
Yeah.
refused to do anything with it, and they kind of let it be known we'll find someone to buy the contract off us, and that was a
Yeah.
drag. So we were kind of in the penalty box for a few years. Eventually, a label called Hollywood came along, and they bought out the contract, but because they sunk money into this, they wanted some hits.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they approached the Butthole Surfers to write hits, which wasn't our thing. So the nightmare continued, and so ultimately, Hollywood took the album we made for Capitol, scrapped the kind of weird stuff that we liked the most, that kind of
Right.
balanced out the record, and put some slicker pop stuff on it. I mean, at that point, we were grateful just to get the record out, but it'd
Right.
been exhausting, and it was kind of like the the end of us having fun in a band in a way
Mhm.
until we kind of dropped things for a while and then pick things up later, a decade later in a
I
way.
think now the industry's changed where you can be more creative now. You can put out what you want.
Well, yeah, this is a really exciting time in music because you don't even really need a record label,
Right. That's what
which
I'm saying.
is,
It's like a great time
yeah,
for you.
yeah, exactly. I mean, in the '70s and earlier, like a record label was all important, but
Hmm.
now with the rise of the internet and with streaming services, um, a lot of times major labels are just trying to catch up with what's happening in the say Bandcamp world or whatnot, So major labels and big labels are useful, but you don't really need them anymore, which is really cool. And it's a very kind of underground and almost kind of a punk aesthetic in a way that you can say.
Everything's been built grassroots, so I think music and creativity can still be out there. Now, granted, there's a lot of noise out there. There's so much out there. It's hard to hear it now because there's so much.
Right,
But before you had nothing, and you had the record labels controlling everything, and you weren't getting paid anyhow, which is better. And I think the record labels have to come
right,
now and find the artists that have everything put together. The small cottage industry.
right.
They can just kind of come in and take the money because you've already done the albums, you've done the press, you already have everything built in. So you just want to kind of scoop it up and kind of go with it. Um, so what got going with this album right now, though? Why was this the time that this was it for the band to redo it? And it sounds
Uh,
great. I've heard it. I mean, so people know it's good. It's a good album. It's good.
oh, awesome. Paul, a while back, was going through all of our tapes. We have a huge, at this point, storage closet full of tapes from day one, even before I joined the band in '83. The Buttholes have been recording, and they managed to hang on to the tapes. I recall early on during our van years, uh, it seems like about maybe 10 to 20% of the van was taken with carrying these tapes around because we had no other place to put it.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we've always been fastidious about trying to keep track of tapes. So anyway, Paul a while back was going through tapes and he found the original 2-inch uh, uh, tapes for this album, After the Astronaut, and he was excited because we all liked that record, and it never really got the release. It was never
Right.
released. It was
Excuse me.
a bastardized version came out much later, but Paul and the rest of the band wanted to put out the record as it was intended. So Paul went in and spruced it up, and God bless him, he did a great job.
We'll see. What are the plans to promote it? Besides, you guys had 2 videos. Anything?
We're probably not. In fact, I know we're not going to play to tour. Like we're not going to tour again. We might do a one-off show here and there, but nothing's in the works. Nothing is designed for this particular album. Um, because at this point we're all relatively happy people, and we don't want to upset our happiness
Yeah.
in a way. And touring can bring a lot of misery
Yeah.
with it. So we're good. But yeah, like you said, we're making videos. Um, you know, it's it's it's
Any
it's
like
just it's just, it's just kind of cool to have this record finally come out. It's just kind of like just an unexpected bonus. We kind of thought that it would remain lost, in time, or there were Capitol put out a handful of promo
mhm.
CDs and cassettes before they withdrew it. Those got to be pretty valuable because they were so rare. Well, now we're kind of bastardizing the market, and just here's the whole
I can
record.
see, yeah,
Go,
there goes that
yeah,
money.
go,
So people
go ahead and
hadn't
take it.
invested. That was
Right.
their savings. You're like, ah. Well, I mean, I guess my thought was not to obviously touring really can suck on a band, but I meant like special gigs, like some one-off gigs or something. Some bigger gigs, kind of. You guys kind of fly in, do something nice. If that would be,
We might. We've gotten offers. I mean, it's been really nice. But again, even for like just a one-off show, for a band like ourselves, we would have to practice every day for a month just to get ready for
yeah,
one show. So, it's a commitment. Plus, the band now lives in different states. Paul and
right.
I live in Texas. Gibby lives in Brooklyn. Jeff Pincus lives in North Carolina. So it's kind of hard to get us all together in one room in a way. So, but it's something. I mean, we have learned to never say never. I mean,
Right.
this past year in and of itself has been crazy. I mean, the fact that Stranger Things picked up a song to use, that no one saw that coming, especially us.
It's that younger
The fact,
generation going back into
yeah,
the.
the fact that the documentary movie is going to be available soon, I hope. Uh, like
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
in
I've been waiting for
theaters.
that.
Yeah, I was told that any day now, or maybe any week now, the producers are going to announce where it's going to be playing in movie theaters, and then there's plans for streaming, then the eventual Blu-ray and stuff.
Yeah.
But like that documentary, the the director spent 5 years of his life making
Wow, that's a
it,
lot.
and yeah, and he filmed this over and over again. A lot of the people like, and we changed over those 5 years, and some of the people that he interviewed had died, and it was he just put all this time into it. Eventually, he finished it. He got it booked into South by Southwest for the world premiere. And the day like he got the news that South by Southwest is taking it, his house burned down in the Eaton fires in L.A. So I mean, so are we a curse? Are the Butthole Surfers a curse? I mean,
No, it sounds like it's a movie. It sounds like it's like a movie in a movie. It sounds like a Hollywood
right?
script, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was watching it, the trailer, and I'm like, and I talked to a lot of the artists that were in the trailer I've had on my show, but the one that makes you really want to see it is I had Steve Albini on, and he's quite a character to interview and talk to because there's nobody that cuts more with Steve, and there's a little quote in there, so I'm curious as to hear how that goes, and then just watching the cuts and the edits, it looks fantastic, and I've heard great reviews. When somebody said gives it 5 buttholes out of 5, I mean that's a great review. That made me laugh. But seriously, I've heard a
Well,
lot of really positive things about it. Those have seen it.
the the editing is great because, like I say, he spent 5 years, and the crew spent 5 years working on it. So hours and hours and
I
hours
can't how
of
much footage he
footage.
had.
I mean, yeah, who knows? I mean, it's like tons
Hundreds,
of
could be hundreds
footage
out. Yeah.
to actually narrow it down into a concise 90-minute piece that that moves quickly. You'll laugh, you'll cry. I mean, it's he did a really good job. None of us in the band were excited to do this in a way because it's awkward to have someone barge into your house with cameras and lights
Right.
and stuff and say, okay, tell me about the worst trauma of your life, but make it funny.
Right.
And it's like it's a challenge, but the director Tom Stern just knocked it out of the park. So we're all grateful to the amount of work he put into it.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be hard to do it just so it carries on to who you guys are, but also shares with people who you were without changing who you are. Now you're older, you can look back now in hindsight and look at things differently. So the perception is differently of how things went down for you. Maybe, maybe not. Or you're even like, man, it really gets me. So
Well, what is it? Tragedy plus time equals comedy. I mean, that's kind
that's
of
a good
what
one.
happened here. Yeah, I mean, at the time it was horrifying to live through, but now that we're all safe and older and
Yeah.
survived that era, okay, well, it's kind of funny at times. So yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen that part, but like the history of you guys and all the music and the creativity you guys have put out, I mean, it does seem like it'd be very hectic those years. I can't even imagine. But the creative output is fantastic, though. I mean, there's it's something nobody can touch. There's nobody like you guys. You know what I mean? What got the sounds you created. So that's something
Well,
to be proud of. That's left.
well, thank you. I mean, I've always kind of been of two minds with the Butthole Surfers because Gibby and Paul started the band, and I joined in '83. So I always kind of feel like I'm like the new guy in a way,
What is it,
even
like
though I've
40
played.
years now? I don't even know.
Well,
That's insane.
even,
That's just bananas.
even though I
I
play
know.
in all the records, I still kind of have a fanboy mentality about what Gibby and Paul
Yeah.
do. Paul is such an amazing musician, great guitar player,
Yeah.
and he taught himself to be a great producer as well. He can just kind of do any. Plus, he's an artist. He can kind of do everything and does it really well.
Yeah.
Uh, and then Gibby's just a genius. I mean, he's so smart, so quick, so funny, but also a great lyricist. His imagery is surreal, and there's never a dull moment with him. So, in
The
fact,
lyrics
I've
always are good too. They hold over now.
yeah,
You can look back and go, man, those lyrics still hold. Like they're not goofy. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean,
Well, I mean,
if you,
he's
at first point you look at me, I'm sorry, they might seem like they're kind of goofy. Some people that don't know the band, but if you know the band, you listen to, you're like, that's not goofy. He's actually saying something different than you're thinking. You know?
I mean, yeah, I mean that's perceptive of you because Gibby definitely has soul, and I think, even when he's writing some say funny lyrics or like, like what the hell, there's actually some depth to it,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, he's a talented guy, I don't know what can I say? He is Gibby Haynes.
Well, I mean, I like to me the punk. I like Frank Zappa too. So to me, the Butthole Surfers are like the punk version of it. So like I got both versions of it. The funny lyrics, but smart, more than what you see underneath the hood, type of thing. Very creative. in the downtime, so let's other projects you've worked on in the meantime. What else has you been your musical input have you been doing? I'm kind of curious between this great span of time of the band.
Well, I've been playing in a few bands here and there. I've been playing in a noise band called USA Mexico that has about, I think, 3 albums, and it is super slow and sludgy, and
Hmm.
it it playing slow is really hard because I'm kind of a
Oh,
monkey. I like to go fast. I'm a wind-up monkey drummer,
the Duracell thing,
kind of.
yeah.
Yeah, but like to play that slow is really hard. But kind of more to your point, the 10 out of the like 10 of the previous last 11 to 12 years, I was taking care of my husband who was battling dementia. he
No, I'm
he
sorry. I
passed
didn't
away.
know that. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it's not something that we talked about, but I mean, we can now. When he asked, like, what have you done? Like, well, the previous 10 years I was a caregiver. I was
I'm
taking
so
care of
sorry. I only
someone.
focus on music. I'm never that guy that does the TMZ stuff. So I'm so sorry.
Well, no,
Oh, man.
I
Oh,
don't mean
no, I
to
know.
bring everyone
No,
down or
no.
cast a parlor here, but like that was a big chunk of my life, like taking care of someone, and
Super
so
important.
right.
Oh, I'm sorry for your
Hey,
loss.
Toad, it's all
I,
good.
well, I mean, I think, well, obviously doing music is still got to be a very important part of you. Do you, has your hearing and sound changed, like your tolerance for sound as you've gotten older? I almost feel like I almost like more noisier music, darker music, like noise rock, black metal. Like I feel like I can listen to it more now than I could when I was younger and tolerate it. I actually like it more. It feels more comforting. I don't know if it's a sonic thing with just me, but you bringing up that noise rock thing, I'm like, yeah, is there anybody else out there doing that?
Well, yeah, I mean, again, I'm of two minds, I guess, because while I know that I my wheelhouse is to play noisy, hard music. When it's just me around the house, I play classical music. I
Yeah,
play
I do too.
jazz. I play, I play sitar music. I play anything kind of soothing and chill because I've kind of done the noise thing. I don't need to hear noise at home. So
Changed you over the years. Has your perception and your desire to do for music changed even more so now that you say you listen to slower, more relaxing music? I know you say like doing this like slow drumming is hard. I just saw Earth play that not that many months ago. And watching the
yeah.
drumming, I was like, oh my God, I couldn't do that. I would lose timing. I could probably keep timing anyhow, but I'm like, it's like so good, so tight, but it's so slow. I couldn't imagine that the slow is even harder.
Uh, Yeah, with USA Mexico, we were playing 30 beats per minute, which is barely living. I mean, think about like a beat every 2 seconds is what we're doing. So to have that level of restraint, to me, feels like torture. And plus, I hit hard, so it's kind of like you're throwing your entire back and body into one drum hit, and then like pause
Yeah,
for 2 seconds, and then do it boom again. And after a while, it kind of feels like you're on a chain gang busting rocks or something, but a lot slower and somehow.
feels like a lot of work.
So, but it's also kind of hypnotic as well. That's one thing which uh, when I enjoy playing, whether with the buttholes or with anyone, I really like to feel it. I like to
Mhm.
just feel the beat and just I don't know. Maybe I'm sure it seems like I'm like being I'm kind of acting or something, but no, I'm really trying to just experience the music and the sound around me in the fullest. So, I enjoy that. I truly do. It kind of makes me feel alive in a way. That we have so many numbing elements around us. So to actually feel some kind of emotion, even if it's like pain, is still kind of like
You're
I'm.
feeling something.
It reassures that you're alive and that you can still feel things. So I enjoy that being a musician.
No, I don't think it sounds like you're acting because I think, and I talk to a lot of musicians. I mean, it's just everyone expresses it differently, but the point is always the same. I mean, you're going to feel it when you're playing that slow. Are you actually kind of the danger is overthinking it? Because I imagine when you're playing a certain amount in speeds or whatever more, you kind of get into the moment. Like a lot of musicians get into the moment, you know. But I would imagine being that slow and switching to that, I'd almost have to be like so aware of it, where I'm like either I'm counting, or I'm trying to be so aware of it, like it would almost take me out of a groove in a set. You know what I'm saying? Did that happen at first for you switching over to that, or is it?
Well, when you're yeah, especially for me because like I say,
Born in
I'm
Mississippi.
yeah, and but and for any drummer, a key thing is to try to keep the tempo. And when you're playing that slow, you naturally want to go faster. You want to feel like, okay, this feels wrong to play this
Hmm.
slow. So let's kind of pick up the pace a little bit, guys. But that defeats the purpose of the song or what that particular band is doing. So you really have to go slow. I kind of had to cheat, and I would have a visual metronome that would like by my feet that's flashing at 30 beats per minute, so I would kind of cue on that. That kind of
That's
keeps me
smart.
grounded. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a cheat, but then also it's also it's one of the things that's oppressing me in a way. So it's like something I have to follow this like slow blinking thing and like all this noise that's going on around you, and it is so hard. And I appreciate how something I'm challenged by how something so simple like playing minimally for so slow is so hard. I like that dichotomy of for a while. I fancied myself as being a Zen monk. I went to the Zen Center in San Francisco. I was trying to learn how to be a good Zen, eventually a Zen priest, but I just wanted to be a Zen student.
Right.
And a big chunk of that is just meditating. And
That's
then,
what that sounds like to me. Me trying to meditate, just
yeah,
noise, and it's so hard.
again, like I'm always like, it's one thing I liked about meditating is that on paper, it's so easy. All you got to do is just notice your breath, stare at a blank wall, go. But it's hard to be focused on the breath and the breath only for more than a few seconds before your mind wanders off. And it's hard to kind of go back and recenter yourself and get back into just be here, just breathe, don't attach things to it. So I've always been fascinated how simple things can be incredibly hard.
Yeah, there's a better chance of me doing a guitar solo with Jimmy Page in Led Zeppelin in the 70s than there's of me being able to meditate without like losing my mind.
Right.
It's,
Right. Yeah.
that's
It's
the
hard.
ultimate goal is to be able to meditate. I would love to be able to do it like a little bit. But the constraint of it. Well, I mean, it's also important you have the flashlight. I like the fact you have like a kind of like a light trigger because I mean you are still grounding the band. I can't
Mhm.
imagine that. Well, it would be like a really slow mistake everybody makes at once. Like it's like a no slow accident. If everybody's timing is
which
off.
which has definitely happened for like this band too. Even though it's 30 beats per minute, they have strange time signatures.
Oh
And again,
God,
like that, it's like designed to fuck me up because I'm a 4/4 drummer. I'm strictly monkey.
it just feels like a
Keep it
nightmare.
simple. Keep it simple. So you go from 5/4 to 3/4 to I mean what? So it's concentration too, which again is like hard for me. But
Is there
I'm
music up
trying.
online for this? Is there some music up or
Yeah,
some clips?
uh, look up USA Mexico and like,
Okay,
there's stuff available on Spotify and whatnot. So yeah,
I'm
it's
definitely
it's out there.
interested. I actually like that kind of music too. And it's one of the new things I've different types of music I've gotten into. Once again, that's my whole question. Like sonically, I'm just liking things differently as I get older, and I was just curious if other people are have that other thing too. Um, but so have you actually with that band? Are you challenged to do anything else different though besides that? I mean, it's a lot, but I know that some people as they continue as a musician, they're like, I want to write songs. I have a couple different bands. I'm going to start playing guitar, or I play guitar and I write guitar for this. You know what I'm saying? Are you like multifaceted
Well,
where you're like, I've just got to do a lot of stuff now because I haven't done anything?
in the '90s, and this is kind of like tying into After the Astronaut. I was really into making music with computers and samplers. This
Hmm.
anything I could do on my own and create these dense beats and stuff. And I made a few records that way with my own band called Drain. Like that was the '90s thing of just playing with samplers and whatnot. We kind of used some of that knowledge when we were making After the Astronaut. But then I think because the aftermath of that album was so toxic to me that I said screw it. I just want to play drums again. I just want to
Yeah.
be a caveman again. But now enough time has passed, and I was talking about how I listen to classical music
Hmm.
around the house, but also have a huge jungle collection, like drum and bass, like dance music and stuff.
Oh, really?
So either it's like slow, pleasant Bach or Beethoven in the house, or else it's like just banging modern jungle dance music in the house, like one extreme or the other. So I kind of want to go back into to electronic production for it's so much fun, and you can just do it on your own if need be. So we'll see.
I like that. That's cool. I think also classical music's really heavy. It's to me
Oh, sure.
it's one of the heaviest bands. It's like really one of the heaviest music out there. There's so much to it. It's just maybe the instruments are a little bit different, but the music, the tone, the timing, the power, the dynamics, the space between everything. It's one of the heaviest musics out there. It just the way it's portrayed is beautiful too, and
Hmm.
everybody can take it. you know, but it's still the same. It's still heavy. In a much different way. So we'll go back. I just want to talk a little more about the album, though. I mean, I've heard it, analyzed a little bit back, went back listening to the other one. I do favor this new one, this version better. I do. You know, um,
Me too.
sonically, I like it. I mean, the songs, it's different. The other one was okay. I mean, because I didn't know the difference. But when you do side by side, you know, it's the new one
Yeah,
is
I mean,
light years ahead.
it's I mean, I understand that, 75% of it, I think, is the same record, but just the fact that some of the weirder songs were taken off it, and a fucking Kid Rock song was put in its place, I think kind of destroyed that album. And we're talking about the Weird Revolution, but the original version that we wanted to do, which has like
Yeah.
some of the more outros or like, outre songs on there, I think kind of it just makes it better, and it kind of justifies. Well, it's more about what the band does. I mean, one thing which I liked about the Butthole Surfers is that the very first EP, the debut EP, it starts off with this absurdist Dadaist hardcore song called "The Shaw Sleeps on Lee Harvey's Grave." It's just a fast, almost kind of parody of hardcore music, and so it's a ridiculous hardcore song. And then the next song it goes into is a pop song called "Hey." And that's the way the band started its recording career, just having different kind of styles and
Mhm.
genres of music. And I kind of see that, well, I can really all of our records. I think all of our records kind of have a different, one song may sound like this, one song may sound like
Yeah.
that. And After the Astronaut kind of has a similar vibe as far as there's different genres, different styles of music. And as a whole, to me, it makes sense. But if you jettison some of like the weirdness out of it and just put in pop music, that's kind of what happened with Weird Revolution.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we're able to restore it back to what we wanted in the first place.
Well, there's some bands used to be like, well, I don't like that. I don't like this album. And like, yeah, well, wait till the next album. Yeah, but you guys are, someone's like, I don't like that song. Just wait till the next song.
Right.
You
Right.
know, it's because it's like the weather's going to change so much in Seattle. It's always growing. But that's what I'm saying. I knew whatever album you're going to put out, I was going to like it. Some songs more than others because no songs are going to be the same. There's no way it's going to be the same album that it was before. The last one. Um, yeah, no one needs Kid Rock on their album also. So that's just the thing. It's just not good for anybody. The album, I got the notes here. Actually, look up my notes here because when does it come out? It comes out. I'm the worst at that one. June
Next month, I
26th.
think.
June
Yeah.
26th. After the Astronaut. Cool artwork. Who did the artwork?
Paul Leary did. He
Love that.
yeah, he just scribbled on his iPad, and there there you go. Uh,
So,
in a way, like the previous album we did,
mm-hmm.
was called "Live at the Leather Fly," and that was a live record only. I mean, I'm sorry, like that was a live recording, but we needed artwork for it. So uh, Paul discovered the magic of AI and like designed like what a leather fly might look like. A lot of people got upset because he used AI. And I think the argument was that's not a real leather fly. It's like, and the thing was like Paul spent a lot of time working on that. He spent
Yeah.
so much time like working, trying to come up with like the right image until he finally got it to the way he wanted it. And then when he did, people complained. So I think for this go around, he said, "Screw it. I'm going to spend 20 seconds on my iPad, scribble something. There's the cover, done. So from
Well,
from
it's
one
cool
from
though.
one extreme to the other. Yeah, I love Paul's artwork. Yeah, I do.
I do too. I mean, I like it. I guess it's funny because it's funny with I said the AI thing because you can be very creative with it. I think it's the abuse of it and it going too far, the technical wise. And if you use it a little bit creatively as part of a tool, it's okay. I think it's affordable for some people to create little art and little things here for smaller bands. I think it can help you out. I think if you have the budget, you should always hire an artist if you can. But if you can't and you're putting together something
Right.
ridiculous, you could do it yourself. And if someone's putting time into it, I mean, I've had people I post things that are just regular, like a clip of a movie. Literally post a clip of a movie the other day and someone goes, "This is a stupid AI. I'm not going to follow you." I'm like, it's from a movie from the 90s. What is wrong with people? Like everything is stupid AI. Like it's like the anger of the entire world. I'm like, you need to go somewhere. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
you can't be angry at everything. I mean, and that's the whole thing. I
Well,
mean, I think it's a perfect example of where AI can be positive.
and having said that, oh, you asked about videos, or like we're talking about
Yeah.
videos. There's going to be a video or two upcoming that is like strictly hardcore AI. I mean, AI just pumped to 11, where it's just surreal, ridiculous, one bizarre thing
Yeah.
after another. And,
That's good.
I love that. Yeah, it cracks me up. And everyone knows it's AI. Everyone knows it's goofy. It's like, let's just revel in it. Let's just enjoy the ridiculousness of it all. So yeah, I'm not a purist about that. I understand when AI is being presented as something real, or like to
Right.
trick people or
Bunch of
something.
false
But
people. That's a different world, though. I
yeah,
mean, we're talking about
yeah,
creativity. Like, I didn't walk
yeah.
out of Lord of the Rings being like, "What? Those weren't real wizards. Those were not the real
Right,
dragons.
right,
They're
right,
not they're not employing dragons. That's
right,
not a real
right.
8,000 army. I mean, we've spent our whole life dying for real looking CGI and graphics to look good for
Right,
movies,
right,
and then we
right.
have it at our fingertips for more artists to use, and everyone's like up in arms about it. Got to be a balance, guys. You know, you know. But we should employ those flying dragons. Um, I do. I do want to say this is awesome. People check out the album. I dig it. I forget. I got the worst with dates. June 26th. At the worst. I had to write that down so I wouldn't forget it. Thank you for being on. And people check out your band too. Your other band. I'm gonna check that out
Awesome.
afterwards.
Cool.
Okay. You do anything
Awesome.
you want to say? You want to announce any
Well,
of the art
no,
stuff you want to promote?
no, great talking to you, and thank you for spending the time.
But I've been my whole life, so it's been fun to do this. You have a good
Awesome.
day. Take care. Bye
You too.
bye.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.